By popular demand, we are moving into segment number three. I was only going to do this for two sessions, and you've asked for me to do it again for a third session. So I am going to listen, and I'm going to again create space for you to be writing. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you've got your book to hand, 50 golden lessons, and we're going to work through one or two lessons. It's Bank Holiday Monday coming up this week. So you've got another opportunity to create at least five more lessons on Bank Holiday Monday. I'm really trying to support your journey of making sure you have a book ready. So before we get into today's session, Carmen is here all the way from Connecticut, all the way from the USA, and she shared an amazing testimonial with me. And I asked her if she wouldn't mind sharing with you before we go into today's session. And in today's session, I'm going to be sharing 13 things or lessons, 13 things that I've identified that stop women over 40 from becoming an author. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to overcome them. That's the most important thing. But for now, what I want you to do is just kind of tune in to what Carmen is going to say. I've told her it's okay for her to leave her camera off. She's in Connecticut in the US. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm just super inspired by her commitment to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, Carmen, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, you got 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so good morning, everyone. So, trust everyone is well. Um, Back in 2001, around October, I started writing a book, yeah, and it's the 10 non-negotiable leadership lessons I learned leading in a K-12 environment. I might have mentioned it from time to time in breakout rooms. Anyhow, cut a long story short, um, over the last couple of weeks since we started doing the authors workshop here on Navigating Life, I've been inspired to complete the task, to complete the book. And I completed it last week, Saturday, and have pushed it out to six critical friends who are currently reviewing, not for formatting, but they're currently reviewing it for clarity of content and flow. And that was one of the things that Claudine suggested. Yes, since the authors workshop, but prior to this as well, just doing that. And yeah, and that's what I've done, as well as I've also incorporated this. I got this from Craig Groeschel some years ago, but just do when something is what he called Getmo, good enough to move on instead of trying to, you know what I mean, get to perfection. So I've pushed it out there and it is now in the hands of several other people now. And it's no longer just in my head, but there are other people who are actively reviewing it. And I've given them until May 31st. And yeah, that's it. So I'm super, super, super proud of myself. That's it.
Woo! And there are messages in the chat box for you, Carmen. Thank you so
Oh,
much for sharing.
thank
I
you.
love
Proud of
that.
you, Carmen.
I love that.
Thank you.
Getmo, good enough
Yeah,
to
to
move
move on.
on. I love
Yeah,
that.
Craig
Listen,
Rochelle. Yes.
I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're proud of yourself. I'm also proud that you're able to demonstrate what
Yeah.
being in conversation and being in the right environment does in
Yes.
order to help ignite your progress. Sometimes you, oh, I can do it myself. Yeah, you can do it yourself, but it's so much more powerful when you get
When.
into an environment where other people are making significant progress, where you can learn from other people. That is the importance of mentorship. That's the importance of having a coach. So I'm super pleased. The
Thank
31st
you.
of May, so they'll be coming back to you, your critical friends, with any feedback.
Yes.
You'll go back into editing mode. Have you got, then you'll get your editor, then you'll go into the next phase of the process. I'm really hoping that you will be one of the 10 that I'm looking for to help share your methodology in the next
Yes.
iteration or the next edition of my
Okay.
book 50 golden lessons. So it's not an anthology. All I'm literally looking for is is 10 women who can share how they used this process so that I
Right.
can put your example almost as a case study. But then what it also does, it adds to your visibility. Because if you're as a case study there, of course, they're going to say, want to know who's Carmen McPherson? Where can we find her? They're going to go and look you up. They're going to go and search you out.
Yeah.
So I need 9 more people. Carmen has already by default taken her place. I need 9 more women.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Carmen. We are
You're
going to
welcome.
get,
And oh, one more thing, and I'm
yes, yes.
well over 50.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. This is good because
I'm
today,
over 60, 62.
woohoo. Okay. This is good because you know what we're talking about today, right?
Mm-mm.
Today is 13 things that stop women over 40 from becoming a
Oh, yes, okay.
right, 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 right. So let's get into today's session. I hope you've all got your books ready. I hope you got your notepads ready. Thank you again, Carmen, for sharing. Um, 13 things that stop women over 40 from becoming an author. One of the important things about today's session is that sometimes we block our blessings, right? We block ourselves. Maybe we've got so many thoughts ruminating through our heads how we can or can't do something. And today I want to be that person who helps to unblock your blessings. I want to be that person who helps you to see the diamond that is sitting in your head or on your bookshelf or on your laptop or wherever it is that you are keeping yourself from. So just by way of a background, we are in session 3. So for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, this is the third series. I spoke about how this is important. We spoke about 10 ways or 10 things that you can do to to get ready to become an author. And now today we're going to be talking about the 13 things or 13 things that are stopping you. The 5 books that you see on the screen are the 5 books that I have authored. We start in the middle with the anthology series. It started during the pandemic, where I just kind of put it out there. I didn't even think we were going to have that much of a response. But the 3 books, Navigating Life Anthology, Mindset, Identity and Relationships, Health, Grief and Loss, Motherhood, Change and Emotional Roller Coasters. And I know some of the anthology authors are here with us still, hanging out with us in the Navigating Life Empowerment class. But that was the first idea of pulling stories together. And the reason why this was important was because I believe that all 37 of these women have powerful stories. I actually refer to them as ambassadors of hope. They all share how they navigated a challenging season of life, but more importantly, how they were able to overcome through faith, through prayer, through sagacity, through wisdom, through connectivity, through just digging deep into something that was buried inside of them. They made their way back to life. They made their way back to the surface. They were able to come up for air, and they are still here today to share the story. And the reason why this is important is because I know sometimes we want to point to women in the Bible, which of course is our foundation. But I also believe it's important to point to 21st century women who are living amongst us, who are able to share their stories. Then I wrote The Balancing Act, Priorities of a Social Entrepreneur. I'm a social entrepreneur at heart. It's where I spend my space. It's where I spend my time. And I wanted to birth my own journey, birth my own story, which I did. And then I've written 50 Golden Lessons. And this is my way of helping you to get your book out of your head. And once it's out of your head, you can then continue to build your team, get your author, and get the rest of the people in your team. All right. So we're going to start off with self-doubt. The first thing that is hindering people, hindering women in particular over 40 from becoming an author is self-doubt. The question that you ask yourself, who would want to read my story? Let me tell you, someone needs your voice. Your story carries a message that only you can deliver. You are writing not for approval, but you are writing to share your story. You are writing to allow or to empower other people to hear where you are, to see what you've experienced. And then the key thing here is, how can you turn your experience into wisdom? How can you turn your knowledge into wisdom? How can you turn your experience into wisdom? How can you turn your knowledge into something that can empower other people? So for those of you who are being hindered or being stopped by self-doubt, I want you to keep this at the front of your mind. When we were writing the Navigating Life anthology series, it was the same process. It was the same thing that we had to ask ourselves, or the women, the contributors had to ask themselves, who would want to hear your story? And lo and behold, every single one of those anthologies made it to the Amazon #1 bestseller list. If you want to know who will read your story, just go to the bestseller list, go and read the reviews, to quash that doubt, to cast out that doubt. Number 2, perfectionism. Accept that your first draft will be messy, and that's okay. I shared with you before that when I wrote Priorities of a Social Entrepreneur, and Carmen just shared the same thing, right? We've got to overcome perfection. Perfection is the enemy of progress. It's the enemy of progress. But what you want to do is make progress over perfection. Accept that it's going to be messy. Accept that it's not going to be the first draft. Accept that it's, oh, this is going to be great. It might not be. And that's part of the process. That is actually okay. Be okay with knowing this. Just write in the chat box, it's okay. Write in the chat box, it's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to have 80% done and to give the remaining 20% to your friends, to your colleagues, to the people in your space, to help you pull out the remaining 20%. Carmen said, Getmo, right? Good enough to move on. It's good enough to move on. You've got to get over that fear, and that level of perfectionism. Number 3, fear of judgment. Focus on the lives that you will impact and not on the opinions that you might attract. Listen, everybody has an opinion about everything. Your responsibility, ladies, your responsibility is move past the fear of judgment. Move past the fact that people may say things about your book, about your writing that you may or may not like. Courage is louder than criticism. Courage is louder than their criticism. You've got to move past the fear of people, the fear of making a mistake, the fear of embarrassment, the fear of judgment, and just write. When you write, I understand the fear that comes with that, right? Because you're putting yourself out there. You're asking people to critically, your friends, to critically analyze your work. Move past that fear. There will be somebody who who your voice speaks to. There will be somebody who can relate to the message that you are sharing. Number 4, believing that it's too late. Listen, Carmen said she is over 40, she is over 50, and she is over 60. Listen to me. You are not too late. You are on time. You are on time. Just type in the chat box, I am on time. Just type that in the chat box. I am on time. You are on time. Your life experience gives you depth. Your life experience gives you wisdom. Your life experience brings a richness that younger writers don't have. We're talking about the lessons of your life that you want to share at 40, at 50, at 60, and dare I say at 70. There's a depth, there's a wisdom, there's a richness of experience that you are able to share in your personal and professional context that people will lean into, that people will want to hear. You are on time. The time is now. The season is now. You are in the right season. And if you're in the right season, then number 5, that cancels that out. I want you to remove the lack of time as being an obstacle or a barrier to your progress. I want you to prioritize your writing like it's an appointment that you can't cancel. If you have a doctor's appointment, if you have a if you have a dental appointment and you got that toothache, I guarantee you are not canceling that dentist appointment, regardless of what is going on in your life. Listen, I need to see the dentist. I don't care what's happening. I'm going, right? Schedule writing like it's an appointment you can't cancel. 20 to 30 minutes every day is enough to move forward consistently. It's enough to move you forward consistently. I want you to schedule your writing. I shared with you that when I was writing Priorities of a Social Entrepreneur, I did a 6 a.m., literally 1 hour, 60 minutes every morning, every weekday morning. And then I'd meet with my writing coach once a week to check in on how I was getting on, just to make sure that I could move forward consistently. Move forward consistently. I want you to really make sure that resonates with you. You are on time. Number 6, feeling overwhelmed by the process. I hope that over the last couple of weeks, I've tried to break down the overwhelm and all of the different complexities that go into writing a book. And it's almost like the famous saying that says, "Can you eat an elephant?" And for those of you who are following me on LinkedIn, I created a post and I used a picture actually that I got from PJ Million. PJ Million. I borrowed a picture from him. If you haven't seen it, please do go check it out. It says, when you can't do it all at once, do it one piece at a time. So for those of you who might be feeling overwhelmed by the process, break it down, chapter by chapter, one paragraph at a time, lesson by lesson. Bite-sized wins creates big victories. I want you to check out the LinkedIn post where I write about how you build a wall and the power of a brick. I want that to be your second assignment today. So assignment number 1, you're going to create a LinkedIn post about your breakout room. Assignment number 2, I want you to go check out my LinkedIn post and leave a comment there about building a wall and the power of a brick. I want you to remove the overwhelm. And what I'm doing is trying to cancel your excuses. Number 7, thinking that you need a publisher to start. In order to write a book, there are so many complexities. And the first thing that I'm trying to get you to do is to start writing. That's the first. You're thinking about a publisher before you've even got the idea out of your head. Just start writing. Self-publishing and hybrid publishing are powerful, accessible options. But before you think about self-publishing, start by writing. Get the book, 50 Golden Lessons. Get the ideas out of your head and onto paper, or if you're typing onto your computer, get the ideas out of your head. Think about the publishing later. Number 8, financial fears. This is legitimate. I know financial fears are legitimate, but there are free or low-cost resources that you can access. Budget for your publishing when you're ready, but first of all, start by writing. As you start writing and as you start creating your ecosystem and as you start building out the exact process that you're going to follow, you can start building your budget. But the first thing that you want to do is just get the words out of your head. Investing in your dream is investing in your legacy. I was doing some work. I'm creating a program for one of my executive clients, and we were talking about the power of investment, and I was sharing that you will reveal what you value by how you spend your time. You will reveal what you value by how you spend your time, but you will also reveal what you value by how you spend your money. You will reveal what you value by how you spend your money. Therefore, I value myself, so I'm going to invest in myself. Invest in your legacy. Invest in getting your ideas out of your head and into a book. The 9th thing that people do, comparing themselves to other authors. Listen, your voice, your path, your journey. Stay in your lane and celebrate your authentic expression. Your voice, your pathway, your journey. Stay in your lane and celebrate your authentic expression. I want you to take a screenshot of this page because I want you to stop comparing yourself. Stop looking at other people and saying, oh, but they've done it this way and they've done it that way. Comparison is the thief of joy. This is your voice, your experience. Your experience is not the same as everybody else's. Your voice is not the same as everybody else's. If your voice is the same as everybody else's, then there's nothing to differentiate you. If your pathway is the same as everybody else's, there's nothing to differentiate you. Your journey is different. Your experience is different. I want you to stay in your lane and celebrate your authentic expression and stop the comparison. Focus on the uniqueness that you bring. Focus on the uniqueness that's within you. Focus on the uniqueness that God is bringing out of you and use that to celebrate and to create your journey. Number 10, believing your story is not big enough. Listen, this is not about dramatic events. It's about authentic transformation. Ordinary moments told truthfully changes lives. It doesn't have to be elaborate. But your story brings transformation that is authentic. When I think about the Navigating Life anthology series, the women who were speaking about mindset, identity, and relationships, those who were speaking about health, grief, and loss, those who were speaking about motherhood, change, and emotional roller coasters, these were authentic stories that brought about massive transformation. These were ordinary moments in the lives of women, sisters, aunties, mothers, daughters, grandmothers, told truthfully, that brought about a transformation. For those of you who want to hear more about those transformations, just check out the Amazon reviews. The Amazon reviews will tell you the impact that these stories have made, these ordinary stories have made in the lives of others. Number 11, not knowing where to start. Start with why. Start with why. Then move to who. Then the what and the how will come naturally. When you start with why, I want you to ask yourself, why do I want to write? Why am I writing? What is the purpose of extracting this information out of my head and onto paper and then into a book, or out of my head onto my computer, then into a book? What is the reason? Why do I want to write? Once you've got some clarity around that reason, then move to who. Who am I writing for? Who is my ideal audience? It's the same thing that I teach my mentees about understanding the process of the ecosystem. Sometimes we ask the right questions, but we don't ask the right questions in the right order. The first question that you want to write is why? Why am I doing this? And then you want to move to the who. And for those of you who are in mentorship, we can unpack this a little bit more. But for those of you who are not in mentorship with me, this is enough to get you started. The what and the how will come naturally. Number 12, previous failures sometimes haunt all of us. But I want to remind you that your past doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. Your past does not disqualify you. It prepares you. Just type that in the chat box. My past is preparing me. My past is preparing me. My past is preparing me. Just write that in the chat box. Some of us are still being held hostage by shame. Some of us are still being held hostage by grief. Some of us are still being held hostage by poor health. We're being held hostage by loss. We're being held hostage by self-doubt and self-shame. Some of us are being held hostage by imposter syndrome and self-sabotage. Some of us are being held hostage by challenges of yesteryear or yesterdecade. I want you to remember that your setbacks give you credibility, not shame. Your setbacks, your scars are a demonstration that you are a warrior. Your scars are a demonstration that whatever tried to take me out did not kill me. I look at the scars from my breast cancer surgery as a sign of my ability to be an overcomer. I look at my scars from surgery. I had to have a mastectomy in 2019. I look at my scar as credibility for not being taken out by what tried to take me out. Not to my shame, but to my ability to be a warrior, and all glory goes to God. All glory, I point always to him, because it was him who gave me the strength. It was him who gave me the peace of mind, the soundness of mind, the strength of mind, and the wherewithal to dig deep into my faith, to remind myself that my scars do not bring shame. My scars will not disqualify me, but it will prepare me to live on another level. I want you to take heart that your past is preparing you for something big. The last thing I want you to remember is the thing that can hinder you, and the thing that sounds like it hindered Carmen, the thing that hindered so many women, is waiting for inspiration to strike. I want you to treat writing like a discipline, not a feeling. Oh, I feel good today, I'll write today. Oh, I don't feel good tomorrow, I won't write tomorrow. Treat writing like a discipline. I have to do this regardless of how I feel. Inspiration often shows up after you start moving. So don't think about writing as I've got to feel in the mood. This is about discipline, and discipline starts, or discipline moves, discipline is ignited in your mind, not in your feeling. Discipline is ignited in your mind. It's the thing that you tell yourself, I am going to do this. Whatever time frame you have set up for yourself, I want you to get into action. I want you to make sure that you position yourself for progress, position yourself for impact, position yourself for increase. So I've shared with you 13 lessons for increase. I've shared with you 13 lessons that will help you increase your capacity for more. The next thing that we need to do is ignite that fire within, ignite that process, ignite that thing that is going to help you be, do, and have the desires of your heart.